Good morning, everybody. This is a couple of things that I took away from the ProLiteracy Console, ProLiteracy Conference back in October. Okay, Lainey. The first of which, it was a presentation by ProLiteracy about their education network platform. And as a member, SBLC has access to this platform, which is a collection of online courses and resources for adult literacy and ESL instructors, program staff, trainers, and adult learners. And I'm not sure how familiar many of you or any of you are with our ProLiteracy membership and what's available. But ProLiteracy at the conference just launched this assigning the members a unique URL, and ours is https://ProLiteracyEdNet.org/South Bay Literacy. And tutors will be able to access the network, eliminating the need to inquire SBLC's login and password. So it'll take you directly to this platform. You will need to establish your own account, but you do not have to enroll in an individual membership. When you go to this this special page or special URL, you will, and you set up your own account, you will automatically be associated with SBLC's membership, and you're able to access the forum. So you will have access to online courses, lesson plans, podcasts, articles, webinars, and other resources, and get help with new ideas and approaches to keep students engaged. Most resources are free. Okay, Lainey. Next.
You
Okay.
See it?
What's unique also here, and this is just, they have created a way by which you can create student accounts on their platform, which is, I think, a good benefit. It's in its infancy stage, and it's currently under development. But on this, the students that you tutor would be able to get help to improve writing or test-taking skills, get reading activities to do with their children, access to websites to supplement their English language learning, get downloadable PDF books for students to read. Some books currently average about 24 to 30 pages. Their goal is to build this inventory up to about 120 books, and also offers tutors tips for discussion. It also will give the student access to the Lubbock Way of Reading audio files, which according to ProLiteracy, they have updated and modernized. Plus, in addition to that, they will have access to finance and understanding finance and money, reading comprehension, and workforce development, and more. And understand that it is in its infancy stages. They just launched the student account portion back in October, so just a couple months ago. So it is definitely still under development. Next page. So this will give you an idea is when you go to that URL, you'll see the South Bay Literacy member portal. And down here, you'll see create account. So if you yourself are not an individual member of ProLiteracy, you don't have to be, and you can leave that section blank, but you will see SBLC's membership below it and our organization name. And then you can create your own account, and then you can also create your account, and this is where you would create a student account. And for the student, they will need to have an email address, but they do not require the student to put their own home address. So that's an option that's not required, but they will need an email address to register. Okay, Lainey.
But does the email address have to be free? I thought I heard, real, not free, real.
I think, remember when we were in that presentation, they said it doesn't have to be.
That's what I remember
Yeah.
too. So it can be a fake
Could be.
email. They just need something in the, I don't understand that at all.
Yeah, me too. I
Anyway.
guess they just need something to show on their, I don't know, their registration that they have the student's name with some email address to, I guess, validate, I guess this is a valid student or something. But then definitely they do not have to include their mailing address.
Okay.
Okay. So if you have any questions about that, I'm still learning it myself. I went on it last night and spent about, I don't know, an hour or so. There's quite a lot available there.
Maureen, I just have a question to use a current term. Did they talk at all? It doesn't look as though there's any validation of who the tutors are or who the students are. Was there any concern about this going viral, if you will, people sharing it outside of the?
I don't think so, because we have that unique URL, which is ours, and for us to access there. So it would only have our tutors and our students associated with our URL.
So they have to, the student has to be registered with South Bay Literacy with ProLiteracy.
Correct. So they would have to, right, the tutor would have to either help them register, because the tutor would need to go onto that platform and create an account for themselves, and then create an account for their student.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then their student probably at any time can access that URL to get to the student portion of the platform.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Okay. So the
Maureen,
other
there was a request. There was a request to put the URL in the chat.
Oh, sure. Well, what I can do is, yes, I can do that.
Can you also, are you going to share this presentation?
I was going to, yes. In fact, I was going to send, if Sheila, you can give me who participated and email address, I can send out the presentation.
Actually, don't make that hard. I send out notes on this tutor talk every
that
time.
would be great. Thank you, Lainey. And
so
she
it will
can send it out.
Yeah.
The presentation attached, and it'll have that information. The other session that I participated in was plain language for effective communication. I personally thought I found it beneficial and informative, and I hope you will too. But it was on plain language, and they define plain language as communication your audience understands the first time they read or hear it, resulting in your audience can 1, find what they need, 2, understand what they find, and 3, use what they find to meet their needs. This becomes respectful and empowering, and the benefits would be save time and money, of course, by getting your message across faster. Spend less time explaining, prompting, and fixing mistakes, and motivate your readers to act quickly and accurately. Next. The goals are your audience understands the message the first time, and your message motivates your audience, 1, to read or listen, and 2, to act. So you need to, of course, know your audience. Who is your audience? What is the message important to your audience? And what does your audience need to do after the message? Okay, Lainey. The most important information first in your communication. What does your reader need to do, and why is this important to your reader? You focus on the action, not the justification, and use the active voice. So you use active versus a passive voice, and the examples would be, in a passive way, all learners must register by. In an active voice, you must register by. So it minimizes the sentence and simplifies it, obviously. Another example, in a passive voice, instructional hours must be submitted to. In an active voice, please submit instructional hours to whoever. Or another example, in a passive voice, books must be purchased to attend class. And you simplify that by making it active. You must buy a book to attend class. So you need to engage your audience. You talk directly to your reader. Say I, you, and we, and use a positive conversational tone. Focus on what your audience can do. Okay? Example, learners, in order to provide online learning opportunities while our office is closed, we are asking everyone to tell us about their computer and internet access at home. The more effective approach would be, hi, Sarah, or whoever your student is, please answer 4 questions so we can help you study at home. So it's more direct and it's simplified. Be conscious of the terminology and the word choices that you use. For example, using try instead of attempt, decide instead of determine, didn't instead of failed to, stop instead of discontinue, before instead of prior to, if instead of in the event of, and because instead of due to the fact. So some actually pretty good examples, I think. Use simple conjunctions and, but, or. Next. So you simplify the language. You challenge every word. You cut out excess modifiers. For example, words like absolutely, actually, completely, really, quite, totally, very. And you take out words that are redundant. For example, guidance and assistance, or like end result. So here's another example. It has come to our attention that it will be necessary for you to provide further documentation verifying your address. A more effective approach would be, please send proof of your address. Next. Another example, during this time of mass closures, it's really important the adult learners continue to study from home. Click here for a list of free virtual options students can access online from home. Studying with an online learning program for at least 1 hour a day is very helpful to continue to improve literacy skills. Here's a more direct and simplified approach would be, study 1 hour every day from home. This will help you continue to improve your literacy skills. Start with these free online programs, and you provide the links right on the page instead of having them to click to go to another page and add more steps. And definitely very much simplifying for the student what you want them to do. Okay, next. So format for readability, some suggestions here. You use small chunks of text, 1 to 3 lines with meaningful headings. Keep sentences short and sweet. You leave 40 to 50% white space on the page. No images or patterns in the background. Ragged right margins, but the left is justified and aligned. Use images that are meaningful to your reader, and use mixed case letters. Use the same font throughout, and I actually am fault for that myself. Don't use cursive fonts, all caps, or italics. Next.
What does that mean? Use mixed case? You mean like
uppercase
big...
and lowercase, but same font,
okay.
right?
Right. Okay.
So it says don't use all caps, only underline headings, and bold the text to highlight the important information. So you saw that earlier in some of the examples that I presented. So there's this free resource on this website, plainlanguage.gov. And there's actually quite a lot of information on there. Okay, Leni. So one other thing that may be helpful, this is effective virtual and phone conversations. That was towards the end of their presentation. To be sure that you pause between sentences, make sure people don't struggle with sound and volume and get that worked out early on. Don't try to tackle too much at one time. Add visual components, have frequent back and forth conversation, avoiding yes, no, negative, and tag questions, but ask open-ended WH questions like who, where, what, when, why, and use teach back, which is ensuring that you have explained the information clearly to the person or persons, and they can explain what they have been told in their own words back to you so that they understand what the message is or what instructions they're supposed to follow. Okay, Lee. So one last thing I did want to emphasize is we have this new 2023 information meeting flyer. I just printed them. I just dropped off 250 copies of them to the Torrance Library earlier this week. So they are going to distribute them to the main library there at the Katie Geiser Civic Center location and the other 5 branch locations in Torrance. Another 250 copies are available in the office. And if you can help us post them in your neighborhood, if you can take at least 5 flyers and post them in your neighborhood, that would be most helpful to us. You can contact me at vpadmin@southbayliteracy.org and either arrange to come by the office to pick them up, or we can mail them to you. But we could certainly use some help in that regard. And I believe that concludes my presentation. Any questions?